She said, "Why do men think they own you?" after I asked her not to go on a trip with her ex. So I changed my relationship status to single. My name is Darren Holt. I'm 29 years old, and for the past 4 months, I've been trying to unpack the emotional wreckage left behind by a woman I thought I was going to marry. 4 months ago I had a fiancé. We were living together. We'd been a couple for 4 years, engaged for 6 months. I genuinely believed we were building a life together. And now, I'm sitting alone in my new apartment, sipping coffee in silence, watching the occasional frantic text from her pop up on my screen while her carefully curated life collapses around her. And oddly enough, I feel free. Let me rewind. Her name was Lila. Beautiful, smart, ambitious. The kind of laugh that could turn heads in a crowded room. We weren't perfect, who is? But I believed we were stable. She'd been there for me during the rough patches, and I'd done the same for her. I thought we understood each other. That was before her ex, Adrian, came back into the picture. Adrian was her college boyfriend. They had history, 3 years' worth. When we first started dating, I noticed how her face would change ever so slightly whenever someone brought up his name. A flicker of something unreadable. I never pressed her on it. I believed in giving people space to have their pasts. But in March, Adrian moved back to town to work for a startup. And suddenly he was everywhere. At mutual dinners. Game nights. "Oh, Adrian's coming too. Hope that's okay." It wasn't okay. But I kept quiet. I'm not possessive or controlling. I trusted her. That was mistake number 1. Then came the signs. First, Lila suddenly developed a new obsession with fitness. She started hitting CrossFit classes at 5 a.m., buying expensive new gym clothes every week, and posting motivational quotes with flexing selfies online. This woman hadn't touched a dumbbell in 2 years, but suddenly it was grind mode every morning. Then the secretiveness started. Her phone, which used to be left casually around the apartment, was now always face down, always silent. She guarded it like a second heart. If I walked by while she was texting, she'd tilt the screen away. But the tipping point, that came one Thursday night. We were having dinner when she casually mentioned that Adrian had invited her to a weekend work retreat at Lake Tahoe. Just the 2 of them. "Networking," she said, twirling her pasta. I asked, "What kind of networking retreat involves a weekend getaway with your ex?" Her reply, "Why are you being weird about this? Adrian and I are just friends. It's not like that." But then she admitted she hadn't told me earlier because she knew I'd react this way. Red flag turned into a flashing neon sign. I stayed calm. Too calm, maybe. I told her, "I'm not comfortable with you going on a trip alone with your ex. That's a basic relationship boundary." She rolled her eyes at me, like I was some overbearing father denying her a night out. "Fine. I won't go," she huffed. But she wasn't fine. That whole night, she stomped around the apartment, slamming cabinets and giving me the silent treatment. The next morning I woke up at 5:30 to an empty bed. Her gym bag was gone. So was her weekend suitcase, the one she supposedly unpacked. An hour later I saw her Instagram story. A smiling airport selfie, sunglasses and coffee in hand. The caption, "Why do men always think they own you? Living my best life." Her friends flooded the comments with "This is Queen" and fire emojis. I didn't comment, didn't text her, didn't even react. I simply stared at my screen and let it sink in. This wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. That Saturday morning I opened Facebook, changed my relationship status to single, and turned off my phone. Then I went for a run and started planning my exit. By the time I turned my phone back on, it was chaos. 30 missed calls. Over 200 texts. Messages like, "Babe, why did you change your status? This isn't funny. Change it back. Now. You can't do this to me while I'm in Tahoe. Mia's having a panic attack," her best friend messaged me. "This is cruel." Cruel. I'd asked for one boundary. I turned my phone off again and spent the weekend cleaning, boxing up some of her stuff and preparing mentally. I was done. Sunday night, I did something I hadn't done in years. I texted Casey. Casey was this sweet, sarcastic girl from my gym. We'd always exchanged friendly banter. She once told me, "If things ever change with your girlfriend, call me." So I did. "Hey, random question. You free this week? Want to grab sushi?" She replied in under a minute. "Is this really happening? How's Tuesday?" While Lila was figuring out how to salvage her little adventure, I was lining up my first real date in 4 years. And honestly, it was great. Casey didn't touch her phone once. She asked questions, laughed at my dumb jokes, and made me feel seen. Around 9 p.m. I checked my phone. 23 missed calls from Lila. Her story was now just a black screen. Going through something. Please give me space. Irony. When I got home, Lila was sitting on the porch steps. Mascara ruined, eyes swollen. "You ignored me for 3 days," she said. "You flew to Tahoe with your ex after I asked you not to," I replied. Her voice cracked. "I came back. I left early. You left because I changed my relationship status. Not because you respected my boundary." That's when I served her the 30-day notice. The lease was in my name. I had every legal right. She went pale. "You've been planning this." "No," I said. "I've been ignoring this. There's a difference." The next few weeks were brutal. She refused to leave, turned passive-aggressive, tried seduction, begged, cried. Even had her mom call me, pleading. But then Karma showed up wearing a blonde wig. Emma, Adrian's girlfriend, messaged me. Yes, his girlfriend. They'd been together for 8 months. She had proof. Screenshots, flirty messages, explicit photos. The entire Tahoe trip. Not a work retreat. Adrian had booked a couple's suite. There were no investors. Emma wanted to confront them. I had a better idea. Let them crash and burn. And they did. Emma's father owned the company Adrian worked for. When she submitted a report about Adrian giving Lila's company unethical discounts, he was suspended and fired shortly after. Lila, meanwhile, was now jobless, homeless, and Instagram official with a man who no longer had a career. They ended up crashing at Lila's sister's tiny apartment. Meanwhile, I was thriving, promoted at work, dating Casey, and genuinely enjoying a life free of drama. Lila texted me last week. "Can we talk?" We met at Starbucks. She looked nothing like her filtered selfies. She admitted it was all a mistake. "I want to come home," she said. I told her the truth. "That home doesn't exist anymore." She begged. "4 years. You can't just walk away." "No. You walked away. Every time you lied, snuck around, and gaslit me for asking basic things. I just finally caught up. And that was it." She cried. I walked out. I didn't look back. Date. Casey and I are still dating. She jokes she owes Lila a thank you card. We went bowling last week. She's hilariously bad but laughs the whole time. And me. I've learned that some people don't need revenge. They just need consequences. Sometimes, setting your relationship status to single isn't giving up. Setting yourself free.